Wayne Hunter in the building.
My vending people, my vending family. What's going on, y'all?
Chrome vending with Wayne Hunter. This is a collaboration. Been waiting to happen for a long time.
Get this lighting on your boy. Oh yeah.
Introduce yourself, Wayne.
What's up, everybody? As you heard, my name is Wayne. I'm the owner of a vending company. Started off with the candy machines. Watching my man Mike G, he inspired me. Then I upgraded to the full line, and here we are, y'all, taking over. Got 18 locations.
18 locations.
18 locations. I got
that's all full line, right?
That's full line, and I got 50
full line.
Candy machines, 50 candy machine locations, and then I sold those, and then just upgraded for the most part.
So you don't have any of the bulk candy left? They're all gone?
I don't. I sold them all. Sold the whole route and just upgraded them.
Right on up to 18 full line locations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and what was that transition like for you?
The transition, honestly, it was difficult, bro. The reason why I say it was difficult is because it's just me by myself for the most part. I'm figuring out how to move them like you did it yourself. I seen you throw the vending machines on the back and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. How long were you into the bulk candy machines before you decided to make the transition up to full line machines?
Okay, so the bulk candy machines, I was doing that for about 5-6 months. And then
5-6 months, and you built up 50 locations in 5-6 months.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was.
And this is all while you were working another job. You were working on the trucks. You weren't just doing vending.
Yes, sir. I was a truck driver.
So how were you finding time to get your locations? Were you cold calling, or were you going to businesses? Like, what did you end up doing?
The crazy part about it is when I was over the road driving, I was like, man, what can I do to be home? So I started watching YouTube videos, started watching my man, Brian LaRue, and
Vending Nation.
And my man, Mike G, you know what I mean? And what I did was I started walking into warehouse locations that I was delivering to. And I got my first candy machine location. It was way out in Reno, bro, and I'm in Sacramento. And I'm like, okay, I can just check it when I go out there and deliver my, my load. And that's how I got started. So I just kept thinking about this as I'm out on the road. And every time I would go home, bro, I would just place machines. So that's pretty much how I got started. And in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna place so many of them that I can quit this truck driving thing and go full time with just candy machines, bro. That was my mindset.
So that was your intention from the beginning, was to just to make that your business.
Exactly. So whenever I do something like business wise, bro, I honestly, I go all in. I think of the, sky's the limit. Everybody was laughing at me and stuff like that when I was like, I'm gonna quit this truck driving and go full time. You know what I mean?
I've got my share of laughs too. You want to make a bunch of quarters, you want to make change, like they're not looking at the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
You got strength in numbers.
Exactly. So how you get started, bro?
Mine was a little different. My story is, I never had a vision of creating a business. To me, it just kind of happened as a fluke. So I was trying to figure out ways to add assets to my income column rather than just throwing jobs in there, because I had 4 jobs working 7 days a week, and it just didn't seem like my money was increasing like I wanted to. Yeah. So I said, I need to stop putting jobs in my income column and put assets into my income column. So, I had flipped a few cars and did a few other things. And I said, let me try the vending machine. I put a vending machine, and I was bouncing at clubs on the weekends. I noticed people would be hungry in there. So I asked the owner if I could put this little candy machine that I had bought. I bought one in the thrift shop for like $75, and I put it in the little gym where I was training people, with some little candy in it and peanut M&Ms, chewing gum, but never really thought much about it until I decided to put it into that club where I was bouncing at. Okay. And I left it in there. And when I went back, quarters just came falling out. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like a crazy amount of money, but I thought in my head, what if I had 10 of them?
Exactly.
Because it was over $30 in there. And I said, okay, if I had 10, that's $300. If I have 20, that's an average of $600. If I have 30, now I'm getting close to about $1,000 a month, give or take on that average. And some places that do better, some would do worse. But give or take, I say, okay, about 30 machines based on this number will put me right around $1,000. If I don't have to check them, but once every 30 days, or even better, once every 60 days,
right?
You know, every 60 days means I only work 6 times out of the whole year. But I'm creating still $1,000 a month. So I work 6 times a year for $12,000. In my mind, that was like my rational thinking.
Exactly. That's how business thing.
Yeah, it was six times a year for $12,000, give or take, you know?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like my thinking.
Right. But somebody that ain't really like business minded, they gonna go and collect and be like, what, $10? What, 15? What is this? You know, and they gonna be done. But us business people, we like, okay, times that, multiply that. Okay.
Yeah. It's gotta make sense. So
exactly.
then what I wanted to do was I wanted to reduce my windshield time. Like, I don't want to have a location here and then I got to drive 20 minutes across town to my next location. And then I got to drive another 10 minutes or 15 minutes to another location. So, you know, I started seeing patterns, and I was like, okay, what if I started attacking plazas? Where if I see a plaza with a bunch of businesses, maybe there's 15 to 20 businesses in a plaza. And if I can get about 4 or 5 of them, you know, just a percentage of them, then my windshield time comes down.
Right.
So I would hit businesses. I'd go all the way down the street and hit businesses. Then I'd go across the street, and then I'd come all the way back down the other street. Right. And that way I have them all like centrally located.
Exactly. That's what I was doing, hitting the whole strips too. Yeah.
And you know, you're going to get your no's, you're going to get your yeses, but it's really just all your ability to talk to people.
Right.
Like, you know, you don't have to have a crazy, you know, spiel when you go in. You just have to have the ability to be friendly and talk with people.
Confidence. But let me tell you a story, bro. I used to let it get to me so much. Like, it really built my confidence and how to talk to people in different ways and read people. Because when I would walk in, people would be so mean and disrespectful that sometimes I would have to calm myself down. Like, why can't I put it here? It's for a good cause. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to provide for my family. Like, why can't I put it? And I would get offended. Like, no, just go. Like, I'm like, dang, people are really mean out there. So it definitely will build you, you know, tough skin, or it's gonna make or break you. Seriously.
Okay, let me ask you something, right? I want you to touch on this a little deeper.
Yeah.
When you went in, how many locations did you get no's for before you got your first yes?
Boy, I was ready to give up. I was walking in, but I was so unprofessional. I was pulling my phone out, like, it's what I'm talking about right here. I wasn't dressing up like, you know, nice and stuff. I was just walking in like I'm about to get it. And, you know, once I realized it was me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I started upgrading things as I went. Okay, let me get my portfolio. Okay, let me get my business cards. Okay, let me get a fresh cut with a nice outfit on. And I would go in more upgraded. And it took me like 20 no's, bro. I was like ready to give up. Then all of a sudden they just started bing, bing, bing. I started knocking out whole plazas and strips.
You realize you learned something. You learned what you were doing.
Oh, for sure.
What you needed to do right.
Instead of blaming them, I started blaming myself. You know what I mean? Okay.
You knew it was possible.
Exactly. So
you saw me and Brian LaRue and other people getting them, so you knew it's possible.
Exactly. I came way too far, bro. So I got all the way up to 50 locations. And bro,
made the change.
You already know how that go. I see you in your videos. You know how that go. Buckets.
But you did, you know, you spoke on something there. You know, you realized that it wasn't everybody else; it was you. They say losers criticize and winners analyze. You know, so a loser criticizes everybody else what's going on, where a winner will analyze themselves and see what they need to do better. Let me ask you this: when you started getting locations, what were you doing different? What were you saying different to get those locations? Let's say you walk into a location and you want to get a machine placed in there. Give me an example of what you say to the person in like a possible scenario, so anybody watching can get an idea of how you do it.
All right. So at first, when I was going in, I was walking in, I didn't have confidence. Like, it was just like, dang, I was too nervous. And I would walk in and I'd be like, hey, excuse me, And they could sense that, like, business people can read that, and they'll be like, oh gosh, another one of these guys coming in and ask me something. But when you walk in there with confidence, like you own their business, they pay attention to you. Like, I'm walking in and everybody in that building, they're going to hear me. Hey, hello, excuse me. My name is Wayne. I'm the owner of a vending company. And I was wondering if you guys would want a vending machine in your location. I noticed that your employees are out here working. They're tired. Look at them. They're hot out here in the sun. You know what I mean? I talked to a couple of them. They said they were interested. Do you mind if I place it right here? Let's set this date right here. You know, sometimes I feel it's like a car salesman sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Something, period. And
definitely.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you can read people, and sometimes you got to jump up on them like, okay, look, can I place it right here? This would be good. Look at him. He's Thursday. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to talk fast. You got to know how to read people. And that's what I built, you know, as I went along this business. Walk in with confidence, like you own the place, and people will listen to you. So
definitely.
Pretty much what I really learned, bro.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, it sounds similar to what I say when I go to a lot of places. A lot of time I would start outside, like how you said you spoke with some of the workers there. If it depends on what type of location I'm at. If I'm like at a factory or a warehouse or someplace where there's a lot of workers, it's more of a, because you know you have two different types of locations. You have your employee-driven locations and your customer-driven locations. So it's you know, as far as speaking about employee-driven locations, places like factories, warehouses, and bigger businesses, I would always approach those. I would talk to the people outside. You know, do y'all have any vending machines in here? You know, excuse me, do you work here? Do you have any vending machines in there? You know, and if they say yes, I say, you know, are you happy with your current vendors? You know, are things always getting stuck? Or the machines always broke? Are they always empty? Or, you know, do they stay on top of them? And, you know, sometimes you can find things like that. Sometimes they just say, no, you know, we don't have any vending machines. You know, what do you feel about having vending machines in there? You know, who would I speak to about getting some vending machines in there? I'm a local vendor. And they would tell me, and I'll go in. And in that way, I already have an idea of what I'm dealing with, and I'm looking around. I know whether they're there or whether they're not there. So I know how to approach it, you know, or if they've been complaining, nah, it always takes my money. You know, the machines suck. The products are always expired or they're always empty or whatever. You know, sometimes people are complaining. Oh, it takes everybody's money. Nobody wants that machine. They'll be like, oh, yeah, we'd love to have a better machine. And so I go in and I talk to the person who's more in charge, who will be able to say yes or no. And I tell them, hey, my name is Mike G. And, you know, having a YouTube channel really helped me out as well, because I told them, you know, I have a vending business. I'm a local vendor. It's called Chrome Vending. I also have a YouTube channel. I give them the link. I show them my phone. I tell them I have all type of vending machines. Would you be interested in having a vending machine in here? Depending on the location, if it's a factory or a warehouse, then obviously I'm going to try for a full line machine, a snack or soda machine. If it's something like a smaller location that, or maybe like a restaurant or something that already serves food, then I might try for a bulk machine or a smaller machine. But obviously I want to try for my larger machines first. I started like you. I started with bulk machines, and, you know, I had it in. Sometimes those are good introductory machines for bigger machines. So I would I put in a small, I put in like you did. I ended up with like over 50 locations as well. I ended up with over 100, but I got to about around 50. You know, maybe I wasn't even at 50. Maybe I was in the 40s, 30s or 40s. And then I had a guy just tell me, he was like, hey, you know, my guys are killing your machine over here. Would it be possible for you to get a larger machine, like a snack and soda machines?
Upgrade.
So I was like, give me a couple days and I'll let you know. So I went and looked online, like right here. I'm on the Facebook Marketplace page right here. And I just typed in right here, as you can see, coin operated. And I would go on Facebook Marketplace pages. This is really one of my favorite places to go. I go to Craigslist, WhatsApp, OfferUp, Let Go, Wish. Like, it's all kind of apps you can go on. And in your area might have different things that you can go on as well. But for me, the local Facebook Marketplace page is one of the best places I go. Like, you can even see right here on the screen I'm sharing. They have all types of machines on here, coin operated.
Right.
And you don't have to put it in like that. You can be, you know, creative. You can put in soda snack machines. You can be more specific. You can put in arcade games. You can put in snack machines, combo machines, bulk candy. You know, you can put in rhino, gumball machines, whatever you want to put in. So I listed different ways, and different ways it'll give me different things. Like here, it shows laundry mats. I know a couple people that own laundry mats. I've had pool tables, tattoo sticker machines, bouncy ball machines, ATM machines, soda machines, snack machines,
a little bit of everything.
Pinball machines, arcade machines, claw machines, all kind of arcade machines. So just me, I wanted to try a variety. That's why I put Chrome Vending, because I was kind of intrigued by the entire business of being able to put a machine up and then come back later and having the machine do all the work for you. You know, you just come back and collect. And if you could separate your collection time where you don't have to be back 2 or 3 times a week, because then it's more active income. You know, that's cool. You can make more money that way. But at the same time, I want a machine that's going to be more passive for the long run, where I don't have to go as quickly. And that was kind of like my little fight between full line and bulk candy, where bulk candy did pretty good. You know, the thing I liked about it was more passive. My full line is more active income. Like I got to work harder. I got to be there more. I got to change it every week. I got to check it. There's more complications with the machines. Now you make more money, but you're going to work more. And you're gonna get more
locations
calls.
you think it start getting like that? Like how many locations? Like 4, 5, 6, and then it start getting a little like what you think?
Well, I mean, it just depends on your locations and how good your machines are.
Right.
Like me, I didn't buy brand new machines because I know just like when you buy a car off the lot, or if you buy a house or anything you buy, a lot of time it'll depreciate. Like when you take like a car, you buy brand new, you take it off the lot, it depreciates. You know what I mean? It's going to be the same thing with your vending machine. If you buy a brand new vending machine for 10 grand, think about how, even if you're making $500-600 a month, how long is it going to take for you to make that money back?
Right.
Then you got to account for expenses. Just because you made $500-600 in that machine, half of that goes back to expenses at least.
Right.
Because I mean, you'll write off a lot of that stuff once you get business savvy. Because me, when I was working jobs, I didn't understand LLC in business. But when I started my vending business, I had to open an LLC, and it really taught me a lot more about business. And then it helped me open a LLC for my training business and take other businesses to a different level as well.
Right.
But that's why I say it was real good learning experience.
Other stuff.
But you know, like I said, the full line is more active. And I was looking for more passive income, you know, but I wanted to try them all out because I had the channel and a lot of people were looking at different styles of vending. And I was just, like I said, intrigued by different vending machines. So I wanted to see which ones would do what. But at the same time, I wanted to be smart about it. And I wanted to make sure the investment was worth what my ROI was going to be. I don't want to buy a machine that's going to take 10 years to pay off.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Exactly. So if I buy a brand new machine for 10 grand, and how long is it going to take me to make that money back? Exactly. So I figured if I'm smarter about it, let me buy some used machines from someone who got into the business and it didn't work for them. They're trying to get out. So they just want to sell it, cut their losses. They getting rid of it for a good deal.
Right, right.
So when I came in, like I said, I bought the first one. Then I was just looking to buy maybe 2 or 3 more, but I found a deal for 12 where a guy was just getting rid of them. So I bought those and I paid less than $50 each. Where my first one, I paid 75 since I bought it by itself. When I bought 12, I paid like $48 each. You know, and I probably could have talked them down even more, but I really didn't have a good understanding yet. And then my next deal, I bought over 50 of them. And I got them for like $1,100. So now my price is down to like $22 and some change a piece. You know, so each time I'm getting the machines for less and less. But then I go up and put them online. I'll post 10 of them, you know, for $100 each. And I get a sale. And then now I've made my $1,000 back that I've invested. I'm invested probably like $100 now, but I still have over 40 machines. Spray paint them, clean them up. Some of them I would spray paint them and I'd sell them for $150. You know, because it's spray painted to a sports team or a certain color that matches whatever the business is, or somebody that wants it. You know, maybe somebody wants one with a sports color team for their den in their man cave.
Right.
And then I would post them on Facebook Marketplace pages, sell them one at a time, make my money back, and now, like, I'm out of the red. I'm immediately back, you know, even, but I got 40 something machines. So now when I put them up, I'm not trying to make my $1,100 back in candy sales. I'm already, you know, now as soon as I sell, I'm already in the profit.
Right, right. Exactly. But yeah, watching the videos and stuff, people get the wrong idea with just getting used machines. You know what I mean? Some people ain't built to buy used machines. Some people do need to buy newer machines starting off. And,
yeah, definitely. And you know what? Now that we're talking about it, I'm going to leave a link right up here to a video of how to check your full line machines. You know, what you need to look for when you're buying a full line machine. I'm trying to think what videos I have for bulk machines. A lot of time with bulk machines, you have to remember this, that when people are selling a lot of used stuff and getting out of the business, a lot of time they're not selling brand new working vending machines. You know, usually there's something wrong with it. But your job is to decipher what is the issue and how easily can I fix it. Now, if it's something that's going to cost you a lot of money and a lot of time to fix, no matter what the deal is, it might not be worth it. So you want to find something that at least is working and has keys and this and that. If you have to rekey them and get locks, you got to think about the expenses that's going to take. Now, me, I had a good locksmith that I went to, and they used to look out everything for me, and they let me put a machine in there. So I'd go in there for all of my locks. I did all my business with them. You ever bought a machine where you had to change the locks, Wayne?
Yeah, that happened to me a lot of times, man. I had to drill locks.
Had to drill them out?
Buy locks, order locks, find a locksmith. Yeah, I done been through it all, man.
Okay, so, hey, I'm going to put a video right up here. I'm going to put a link right up here for me drilling out locks as well, so y'all can go and see that if you buy a machine that has a lock in it. And a lot of time people sell machines for a good price, a good discount, because they don't have keys to it. You could buy a machine like that, drill it out, and put a new lock in. And if you get a good deal on it, you know, to change a lock, it makes sense. But I mean, if you're not getting a good deal, it doesn't really make sense.
Exactly. And if you're lazy, don't be out there buying no used machines, man. If you ain't gonna order the parts, put in no
because it's gonna sit up.
For real, you wasting your time. So I don't want y'all to get the wrong idea with me getting used machines and thinking, you know, work. It ain't always that simple, man.
It definitely is work sometimes. You know, it's not gonna do it itself. You know, so me, instead of sitting up watching TV when I came home from work, I would be out in the patio working on the machine, you know, putting up a YouTube video, building my brand. As long as, if I work 8 hours for somebody else, you know, what am I doing that 9th hour for myself when I get home? So that I can get away from that job working for somebody else. That's how I always looked at it.
Exactly. But hey, how I got my first full line location, I had my portfolio ready, right? And I would keep the soda and snack machines inside of it.
Let me ask you something before you go further. You said your portfolio. Did you have your portfolio on your phone, or did you actually have a folder portfolio?
I actually have a folder with the pictures. I actually took pictures, bro.
I remember. That's why I said it, because I just wanted you to say, because I said I would show them on my phone in the YouTube channel, but you took it a step further and you actually got a portfolio looking professional with it.
Right, exactly. So I whipped that out, and I was going to go place a candy machine, and they were like, "Nah, we don't want that. We want that." And my heart jumped like, "Oh, like I ain't even got that." But you know, I was like, "Yeah, I'll get that for you. Yeah, that's no problem." You know. So then I was like, "It'll be 2 weeks." So I put myself on the deadline that I had to go place that soda and snack machine. and came back, made it happen, man. And that's pretty much how I officially got started. What would you call that? A fake it till you make it?
You got to do what you got to do. A lot of time, that's a good way to do it because you don't have to have the machine.
Right.
All you have to, you don't have to have a location to buy a machine, and you don't have to have a machine to get a location. People ask me, what do you think is better, Mike? Get the location first or get the machine first? And, you know, I hear different people have different takes on this. You know, I don't know what your take is, but my take is I don't think it matters. If I find a location, then I can find a machine for it. If I find a good deal on a machine, I'm not going to pass it up. I'm going to get it because I'll find a location for it. So, you know, the asset or the liability isn't the machine, it's you. It's always
check
you.
This, but check this out, though.
Yeah.
Check this out. I've been in situations where I didn't measure the doors, or I bought a machine that they didn't want. You know, they wanted a combo machine, and I got full. You know what I mean? So there is certain situations you could put yourself in. You know?
I understand that, but I'm gonna tell you what else, right? This is how I would look at that. Let's say I bought a machine, right, that didn't fit.
Right.
Obviously, I'm gonna check to make sure the doorways now, knowing what I know, I'm gonna make sure that I check to get one for that. But if I find a good deal on the machine, even if it's too big to go in that location,
I'm gonna put it somewhere.
That's gonna motivate me to go find another location for it.
Bro, that's what I was doing for sure. I'm already knowing. I know what you mean. Yeah.
But then again, I'm ambitious.
Yeah.
Everybody might not be like that, but you know, like for me, I know that one thing. I know that once you start getting victories, victories build confidence. And with confidence, you can do anything. You know what I mean? So all you need to do is get a couple yeses. Once you get a few yeses, it's like
you're ready to go.
Confidence build up. Yeah. And
For real.
You get better and better at it. I felt like I could go in and get a location as long as certain places I just knew I was going to get them.
The warehouses is my thing.
You said you got 20 no's before you got a yes about.
Yeah.
My first 7 were yeses.
That's what I'm talking about.
So it was completely opposite. And you see, like, somebody might be watching this and they listen to my story and they like, man, you know, he got his first 7 locations before he got a no. You know, what am I doing wrong? But they might listen to your story and they might relate to your story more. Be like, okay, he didn't get one before 20 locations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you never know whose story is going to impact somebody differently. Like I might reach certain people and then you reach certain people, but just it's a different way of doing it. Mark Saito, when I started talking with him, he bought his route. He didn't even like place locations in the beginning. He bought like 200 locations.
Dang.
So it's so many different ways to get into vending. If you have money, you don't have to do all the work. You can just buy it out from somebody else. If you don't have the money to buy one out, then you got to grind. You got to buy the used ones and put them up and figure out how to get it going. So it's all about figuring out, you know, what works best for each individual.
Exactly. Yep. And don't give up, man. I have a lot of people hitting me like, I don't know what to do. You got to be hitting every different angle that you can, calling, walking in, proposals, sending out, mailing stuff off, man. You got to, bro, keep walk in, build how you speak to people. Just keep going. Don't give up. So
somebody's going to say yes. It's going to happen.
Man,
there's no way it's not gonna happen.
Man, that's how you got to think. Say, when I start a business, that's how I think. I'm thinking about I'm about to be rich. I'm not thinking about failure. Not one. Vocabulary, bro.
I could tell 20 no's, and you kept going.
Come on.
But let me ask you this: knowing what you know now,
right?
If you knew that your 21st location was gonna be a yes, how much faster would you have got out there and got them 20 no's? You see what I'm saying? Like if you knew that the 21st one was a yes, knowing what you know now in retrospect, looking back, how much faster would you have got out there and got them 20 no's? Because you already know the 21st one's gonna be a yes.
Yeah.
See, we don't see it like that.
Right.
We're looking at it in the now. We're not looking at it in the future.
Wow. I would have thought of that kind of.
You monetized before I did on YouTube. It took me 8.5 months to get monetized. You say you did it in like what, 4?
Yeah, like 4.
You
Yeah.
did it in like half the time I did.
Yeah.
You know, and now I'm seeing more and more vending channels come out, you know, so it's a lot more competition with it and everything.
Right, right.
So like I'm thinking back to when I was putting up my videos for them 8 months, not making a penny. And I'd be working on those videos for a couple days sometimes.
Man.
You know, and I'm not making anything. But the
Yeah.
only thing I have is the faith in the future that I'm gonna make it happen.
Exactly.
You know, so if I'd have knew then what I know now, that it was gonna take 8.5 months, I would have put up twice as many videos to try to do it in half the time.
Man, for real.
You know what I mean?
But people don't even really know the grind and how much it takes, bro.
Yeah.
It's no joke editing them videos, bro.
No, it's definitely not. But you know, like, and it's different goals. Like you said, you had your vision from the beginning that you wanted to make it a business. Me, it was a fluke. I just bought a machine and put it in my little gym. You know, so when people came and trained with me, I think I put some peanut M&Ms, I put some gumballs, and maybe some Skittles or something. And people come work out with me, and they'd start bringing quarters with them and put them in there. And I didn't think much of it. I just put it in there because I thought it was cool to have it in there.
Right.
But then when I put it into the club that I was working, that's what really opened my eyes to it. After I had a few of them up, one of the club managers told me, he was like, hey man, the guy from the city came by and he said, you can't have this machine in here without this license for it. So I'm like, what? So I started looking on YouTube, trying to figure out, like, what do I need to do? Yeah. And nobody put any information out. How do I get an LLC or a business license or pay taxes on it or run it as a legitimate business? Like, how do I get this paper I need? And there wasn't really information on there. Nobody was really breaking down the business part of it. Right. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start a channel and I'm going to try to explain things, that the questions that I'm having, when I find the answer, I'm going to put up the answer for people like me who are looking to create a little extra income for themselves. Like, it was never a vision of mine to create a big, huge vending business with like hundreds of machines. It was just like, okay, if I get maybe about 20 or 30, I can bring in an extra little income and I can use that to buy rental properties or flip more cars or do other stuff with, you know? Yeah. And then it just ended up growing more and more people started following the channel and got interested in vending. And then it just took off more and more, and I got more serious with it, started going into other machines. But sometimes you just never know what it's going to do. And like I said, for me, it wasn't something that I wanted to create a business out of. Some people might go into vending like you, thinking about creating a big business, a conglomerate out of it, right? And then there's other people like me who just might want to have a couple for a little extra money. Maybe you can't buy a rental property. You don't have good credit, or you don't have a big down payment to put down on a rental property to make some extra money. But look at some of these prices here. You know, a gumball machine, $75, $50, you know, $45, $40. Like, a lot of this stuff at $35. A lot of these machines you could buy, anybody could buy for a good price and put it up. Another thing, some people want to teach their kids how to start a business. This is a simple way to teach a kid how to start a business, how to be an entrepreneur. You know, like, there's so many different routes that you could attack with the vending business.
What's some things you did different? Like, as in like some mistakes that you made? Like for instance, for me, I would have got machines that were always credit card ready, you know, to where I didn't double back because now the customers are asking for credit card readers, you know, like those kind of mistakes.
Well, I got kind of lucky because, like I said, I started with the small bulk candy machines, and what happened was when the guy asked me about putting a full line machine in, and I started looking for a full line, I had no clue what I was doing. So I started looking for a snack machine, right? Because he didn't say anything about a soda machine. He just said a snack machine. But I had already had a guy at a gym I was working at had offered me to sell me a soda machine. But I didn't want to do it because I was still getting my feet wet with the smaller machines. So I went back to him and I told him, okay, I'll buy it. But then I had to drill the lock out. Then I had to figure out like everything about the machine, but I bought it. I think I paid like $150 for it.
Still.
Right? 150 bucks, but there was no key for it. When I went in there, I drilled it open. I opened it up. The whole coin mech was full. There was nothing in the bill acceptor, but the coin mech was full.
Nice.
So, you know, I got 35 of my 34. It was $34 full. So $34 I got back. So I ended up spending, what's that? 116. I spent 116 because I got 34 of the 150 back.
Yeah.
So, and then I had to spend money on a T-lock, which those are like $20, $25, whatever. And so really that money that I found in the coin mech pretty much just paid for my lock.
That's
right. So I got a new lock. I got a new lock in there, and it was getting cold. The machine was getting cold, so I knew I was good because the compressor was okay. And I started running some products through it, and ran it through, and it was working. It was vending. So I bought it. Then I had the problem with moving it. I didn't have a truck. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. So I ended up getting a friend of mine who had a tow truck. He came through. I tipped him, and he ended up taking it over there, moving it for me. But once I got the soda machine in, I was looking for a snack machine. I found one online. I had to get the trailer. I had to drive to Orlando to get it, about an hour and a half. So I drove over there with Giorgio, and we picked up the machine. When I got there, though, it wasn't working. There's no keys for the machine, and it doesn't work. So the guy's selling it for like $400 or $500. I can't remember what it was. And I told him on the phone, I say, listen, man, don't make me come all the way there if it doesn't work. I got to get it. I got to borrow a truck. I got to borrow a trailer. Like, I got to drive an hour and a half. Please don't make me come all the way here if it doesn't work. Does it work? You know, and he told me it worked. So when I got there, I called him on the phone. I'm like, look, man, you told me the machine worked. It's not working. Like, I can't believe you made me drive all the way here an hour, borrow this truck, borrow this trailer, and the machine don't even work. He wasn't even there to meet me. It was a guy in there painting. You know what happened? I figured out what happened. The guy bought that building. It was a business, and the snack machine was already in it. It's because he had the guy painting and cleaning the whole thing up. He was remodeling. He had just bought it, and he bought it with a snack machine already in there. So he really just wanted to sell it and get rid of it.
Exactly.
So I'm in there. It barely fits out. Like, I almost scratch up the walls taking it out. I never moved a full line machine before. Me and Giorgio went to Walmart. We got a dolly. The guy who was
dolly
there,
that don't even go to that.
oh man. So I'm moving the machine. I'm getting it out of there. Right. But I told the guy, I'm like, look, man, I'm not gonna pay you $400 or $500 for this machine that don't work. I said, I got a YouTube channel called Chrome Vending, and I got a bunch of vending machines, but I never dealt with full line machines before. I have no clue what I'm doing. That's why I asked you, is it your machine and does it work? And you told me it worked and it don't work. I put $1 in and they accept nothing. So just so happened it was another guy that I called who lived right around the corner from me, about 10, 15 minutes. And I called him about a day or two before looking at the machine, for a snack machine, but he had already sold it. But, you know, I started talking to him and I knew that this guy knew his stuff. He'd been vending for 26 years. His name was Ray. So I know you know Ray. He's been in a lot of my videos, the older guy.
Yep, I remember.
So yeah, so Ray comes. So I call Ray. I'm like, listen, man, you know, I called you the other day about a vending machine. You told me you already sold it. I say, I'm here looking at another one. And I don't really know what I'm looking for, but this machine's not coming on. Can you like tell me what I could check, this and that? So he told me some things to check. None of it was working. He's like, hey, man, get out of there. You don't want this machine. It's 30 years old. They don't make parts for them anymore, this and that. So I'm like, all right, thank you. So I called the guy back. I'm like, listen, man, I just talked with my mechanic. This guy told me not to even get that machine because they 30 years old. They don't make parts for them no more, this and that. So I'm talking to the guy. He's like, man, can you give me $200 for it? I'm like, bro, I just don't feel comfortable buying it because I don't know what I'm getting. You tell me it works, you can't even show me it works. You're not even here to show me what to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I'm already here. I got the truck. I got the trailer. If you want, I'll take it out of here for you. You know what I mean? But I don't want to pay for it.
Exactly.
I don't want to buy it.
Exactly.
I'm already pissed off. I came all the way here for nothing. But if you want me to take it, I'll take it. If it just don't work, maybe I can use it for some parts or something. But I don't know. So he's like, all right, man, you know, it kind of sucks, but yeah, you can go ahead and just take it.
Damn.
So I already knew, it wasn't his machine.
Yeah.
Looking back, knowing what I know now, I know he just bought that place with it in there. I didn't know what I was doing. I get it back to the house. I have to pay Ray $75 to do a service call. So he comes out, he drills it open for me. He goes in there, he tells me what I need to do. The coin mech has to be at least halfway filled for it to dispense coins. That's why it wasn't dispensing coins. There was no money in there. And you know, the mech has to be halfway full for it to even distribute. The bill acceptor needed to have one of these run through. Okay, so you got these.
Oh yeah, the cleaners. Yeah,
the cleansers. Okay, so you know, I'm a rookie to all this. I don't know yet. You know, candy gumball machines don't take all this. They don't have sensors like that. So he's like, yeah, man, you know, the money passes through, they get dirty. You got to get these sensor cleansers and just pass them in a couple times. It'll clean out the sensors. So I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, I got a couple in the van. So he puts a couple through, cleans out the sensors for me. We get the bill mech working. I think the bill mech on that one came straight on. But I did have to buy a bill acceptor from my soda machine. But on the snap machine, everything was working. It just it had to be recoded. And then Ray ended up calling, you know, one of his tech support guys. And we went on, it was a USI you selected. And he went on number 11 and 12 and was able to adjust the pricing and get everything going. And I did a video of that. I recorded it because I wanted to be able to look back later and see what I needed to do when I came across another machine like that. Exactly. Or if I needed to work on that particular machine again, I would have to pay him another $75 service call to come and, you know, work on the machine. Plus whatever other parts I may need to pay for. But, you know, in the beginning, for me, it was worth paying it because it was an education. People spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in college to learn skills they don't even use in the world a lot of time. And me to pay a couple, you know, $75 for a service call to see what he's doing. And, you know, I told him, I said, you know, I have a YouTube channel. I'm learning this and that. Would you mind if I record? And I was lucky that, you know, he said, nah, it's no problem. Go ahead. And me and Ray actually developed a good friendship, you know. And I'm lucky because he's only like 10 minutes around the corner from me. So anytime I had another machine that I would buy, I would have him come and look at some of the locations for me. And I didn't mind paying him an extra $75 to look at the machines. And after I did that a few times, now I've pretty much learned from him. I didn't need him anymore.
Right.
And then I'd get him home and I'd tinker with him, mess with him myself, you know. So that was pretty much how I learned. I don't know how you learned. How did you end up learning about the full line machines?
Bro, that's the same story for me, bro. I would call people out, same thing, and I would videotape. And then they would break your pockets. Some people charging 75 come out, and then they charging 75 an hour. So
like, just to come out at 75 for something. I was lucky with Ray. Ray looked out for me. But like you said, like I've seen some, they charge you 75 just to come out.
Exactly.
And then they're gonna charge you 150 for a bill mechanism, you know, for a bill acceptor, or you know, whatever, for a coin mechanism.
Right. So I'm 300, 400 out the door. So I'm hurting. They trying to
plus the machine.
Exactly.
Plus the products.
Exactly. So I had to cut that short, and I've been a whole year without calling anybody after that. The first couple of transactions is pretty simple. Everything but the compressor and all that stuff, you know.
It's all simple.
Exactly.
And now we have so many YouTube vending channels that somebody's going to be breaking something down. When I first started, you know, nobody was breaking it down. Now it seems like, you know, what videos for you get the most views? Collection videos?
Yeah, collection videos.
Collection videos bring the most views because people like to spend money.
Yeah.
But so most people do a lot of collection videos. You don't see a lot of people doing maintenance, repair, or setting prices and things like that on machines, because those things don't really bring a lot of views. They're not entertaining. They're educational.
It's important, though.
They are. But what brings the most money on YouTube? Usually entertainment. Educational brings money, but it usually is a smaller amount than the entertaining videos.
Right.
You know, people want to see all the money. They're intrigued by it. I like watching the collection videos, but the only thing is I don't learn anything from the collection videos.
Right. So
it's just pure entertainment. I want to learn.
That's motivation.
I want to be entertained, but I want to learn something too. I want to improve. Yeah. So, you know, I put things out where I try to be entertaining. You know, if you look at my first video as opposed to, you know, my later videos, you'll see the difference where, you know, I've always tried to, you know, I've always at least tried to make it entertaining.
Right,
and
right.
Try to teach somebody something at the same time. Like, okay, you know, this can be helpful.
So let's see those.
But yeah, that's why, you know, they generate less views, but I put my collection videos up and I get my views, and then I put the more educational ones up for the people who actually want to see, you know, how to go about doing this, how to do this in the business, how to do that. And I felt like I've been pretty versatile. I've always tried to keep a nice diversity in my videos, you know, to talk on different subjects.
But yeah, one thing I say that's very important that, you know, people looking to get into the business is find a local vending warehouse. Like, you know, Google some vendors in your area, call them, because there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help, like us. You know what I mean? So Google people in their businesses and get an insight on if they got vending machines for sale. They'll tap you in with vending machine haulers and just give you a whole bunch of information. So, you know, Google some people, call around, you know, people giving away free vending machines. You know, I was blessed with a lot of, I think I've gotten over 5, 6 free vending machines, man, just from calling vendors. So that's
definitely
just that you know, you do.
I got 2 soda machines, one on location for $200.
On location.
I got 2 soda machines, one on location. The other wasn't on location, but one came with a location, and I got them both for $200 plus an extra.
Did you keep it on location or you pulled it?
I kept it there for a little while, and then I had to change. I had to pull it because a new owner took over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had it there for about 2 months, and then a new owner took over, and then I ended up pulling it.
Oh, okay. Yep, I had one like that too, to where they told me to place my own machines, and this one's been here for years, and it was a Vendo 721. It's like one of the top of the line soda machines, bro, and it was beautiful. They told me to take it, and I just placed 2 more vending machines there, so that was pretty dope. I could have left it there, but
yeah. Sometimes I've done things like, let's say I had a location that it was making me a little money, right?
Right.
But it really wasn't making that much, right? Like some smaller businesses and plazas, and I put a you know, like a Venstar 3000 in there with a triple option, and then I'd come back and it'd be like $10 in there after 30 days, right? Or $8 or something small, right? It's generating money, but I don't want to leave my machine in there for $8 a month. Like, my candy's gonna go bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what I would do is, when I would see places like that, I would go take my Venstar out and I just put a gumball machine in, because my gumball machine, I can let it sit for 6 months because the shelf life is longer.
Right.
And you know, if I'm generating $10 or $8 or whatever a month, and I let it sit for 6 months, then it makes a little more sense. And especially if it's in a plaza next to about 3 or 4 or 5 other locations.
Right, right.
And then that way my candy doesn't go bad.
Tactics, right. That's smart.
Now, speaking of that, another issue I want to talk about and touch on is expired snacks or bugs in the machine.
I think it happened like 2 times. That was the worst, bro.